Good evening, folks. You know, I have had a rough day at work, and I'm going to admit to you um, that I was tempted to just not even bother doing this tonight because I have been reading so many inane, idiotic comments since the collegiate draft that honestly, I'm going to just tell you right now, I'm going to address these issues tonight. And I'm going to tell you right now that I have absolutely no intention of spending the entire WNBA season angsting over shit that isn't happening. Okay? So we're going to start right here. First of all, the big to do between Raven Johnson and Caitlin Clark is not a big to do. Okay? They were college rivals. Okay, shit talk and rivalries are part of sports. Larry Bird was the master of garbage talk. Okay, the master. And by the way, it was Caitlin Clark who waved off Raven Johnson, not the other way around. Okay, so the notion that Caitlin Clark doesn't play the competitive basketball game is bull too. And Caitlin Clark has said that. She's competitive. Women are always competitive, and she doesn't understand where people get the idea that women aren't as competitive as men when it comes to playing sports. Okay? So let's get that straight first. And let's put something else to bed here. Raven Johnson's not taking Caitlin Clark's job. The starting guards for the Indiana Fever are Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. No one's worrying that any of these people are taking Kelsey Mitchell's job. They're just fixated on this let's abuse Caitlin Clark thing. Okay? It's a sickness, honestly, at this point. So let's talk about what Raven Johnson said after she was drafted. They asked her which player she was the most excited to play with. On Instagram, she responded without hesitation, Caitlin Clark. And when they asked her why, this is what she said. I'm reading this to you verbatim. She is a phenomenal player. I mean, with the things she does, it's bar standard. She can shoot the ball, can lead a team, and they win. Like, she has a winning mentality, and I think that's the biggest. Okay? So let's cut it out. Okay? Let's just stop with all of this bloody nonsense. Now, let's talk about the paranoia over the Indiana Fever are going after all these guys. It's a slap in the face to Caitlin Clark. Really? Is that right? Well, let's recall last season when they went in with one backup guard behind Caitlin Clark, and that was Sydney Colson, who then got injured after Caitlin Clark got injured. And then they had to go out and run down Ari McDonald. And then she got injured. So maybe the Indiana Fever are kind of overcompensating for that. And by the way, these guards that they're bringing in do not have guaranteed contracts. They have training camp contracts. They are signed for training camp. They don't have this many roster spots on the team. Okay? I don't see anybody worried about whether Ty Harris's spot is being taken by any of these guards, or maybe Sophie Cunningham, or maybe Lexi Hull, or maybe Kelsey Mitchell. No, it's the Caitlin Clark fixation again. Okay? Look, you know what? I'm sorry, folks, but there are some people who just, I don't understand how they can enjoy any of this at any time. They spend so much time in agony over all of this nonsense. The majority of these players will not be with the Indiana Fever after training camp. They have been invited to training camp. And by the way, the Indiana Fever may see an opportunity to invite another big player, okay? Another forward. We have no idea what their plans are right now. This is still a work in progress. All right. So let's just grow up here. I am having such a hard time just looking at the comments. I can't even enjoy myself, and I have no intention of doing this all season. I am not doing this all season. Okay. We haven't even started training camp yet, and we've already got Caitlin Clark being benched, her job being taken, Stephanie White screwing her over. Stop it. Stop it. For the people who say that I'm too optimistic and I'm the eternal optimist and I don't see what's going on here behind the scenes, tough shit. Okay? You're right. I am an optimist. That's the way I choose to live my life. Okay? If you don't like it, you do not have to be on my video channel. I'm not looking for 10 million subscribers by being paranoid, spreading rumors, spreading false crap, and being paranoid over what's going to happen to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the starting Indiana Fever point guard. She has nailed that position down. She will have to come off the floor unless you want her to have a 5-year career and have her, completely wiped out because you want her to play every bloody second of every bloody game, which is not possible, by the way, and have her have a productive and successful career. So they will need to find the backup guard that is reliable so that she can come off the floor and sit down on the bench a little bit. These people are all competing for whatever few spots are left. Okay? Caitlin Clark's not worried about her job. You're worried about her job. Raven Johnson and Caitlin Clark don't have a problem. The fans have a problem. They just can't let go. Okay? And, the Indiana Fever have two players in Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull who are guards, but not traditional guards. They're more like wingmen, okay? They're not traditional guards. They're not point guards. They can't back up Caitlin Clark. That's not their thing. If anything, they're more of a backup to Kelsey Mitchell. They're more shooting guards. And then the notion that we have not done enough up in the front court. We signed Monique Billings, who can rebound, who can box out, who can shoot, and who can run the floor. And Miesha Hines-Allen, you know what? They couldn't get Azura Stevens. So what are they supposed to do? Not do anything? You people probably don't remember this, but before the playoffs, before we knew that Caitlin Clark was injured, I had a list of players that I thought the Indiana Fever should go after. I actually had Hines-Allen before Azura Stevens at that time. I'll take Miesha Hines-Allen. She can run the floor, okay? Yeah, she's not a traditional big, but she's listed as a power forward slash forward. Monique Billings is listed as a forward. She is probably the small forward. But the Indiana Fever don't want to play big. They want to play small and fast because that's the way who runs the floor that way. Can you think of who that might be? Oh, that could be Caitlin Clark. This is why you folks don't run the team, quite frankly. Now, before I leave, let me just say something here. To me, one of the biggest shocks in the entire draft was the fact that Hannah Stuelke did not get drafted by anybody. So she starts off as a undrafted free agent. And I hope, she had a great final season, and I hope somebody brings her into training camp and gives her a shot to try to make the team somewhere. Okay? All right. I don't think on the Fever she's going to supplant Monique Billings or Misha Hines Allen. It just isn't going to happen. But I hope somebody gives Hannah Stulke a shot. Okay? If that doesn't happen, she'll probably play in Europe. Now, I'm just giving everybody the lay of the land here. I'm going to be paying attention to training camp. I'm going to be paying attention to the preseason. And please don't be shocked when some of these people play in the preseason, okay? Okay? Don't be shocked. Don't get your underwear in a twist, all right? And believe that Caitlin Clark is losing her job, okay? They have to see how these people play. It's the way this works, okay? In case you hadn't been paying attention to professional sports, okay? So I am not going to spend the entire season in the doldrums because that's where some people reside, constantly worried every 5 minutes about who's stopping Caitlin Clark from playing a game. I haven't seen anybody do that yet. And the notion of Caitlin Clark shouldn't be moving without the ball in her hand, that's bullshit. Moving without the ball is a basic tenet of basketball. It's a basic tenet of basketball, and Caitlin Clark has said that herself. Caitlin Clark is a starting point guard. Okay? Period. But she understands what moving without the ball is all about. So I guess we're going to have to do a little educational session for people on moving without the ball. I will add that to the list because I know people are still looking for explanations on boxing out and all of that. And I started down that road. And then the CBA got signed. Okay? The collegiate draft came up, the expansion draft came up, and free agency came up, and I just didn't have time to just spend on that. So I will get back to that, okay? I will. I did the pick and roll. I know I owe you guys the rest of the stuff, and I will get to that. And I'm going to add moving without the ball. In fact, I'm going to make that number one when I get back to that stuff so that everybody understands it. And I've seen all the comments because I read all the comments, and this is what gets me so riled up, okay? But I've seen the comments about understanding the positions, and I will get to all of that, okay? But I honestly don't know how some of you people can enjoy any of this. You're always in such, I don't understand, a state of distress over something that should be making you happy. And I don't get it. And you know something? I don't think I want to get it. So for those of you who leave comments, perhaps you should go back and revisit those comments that you made because I answer comments as well, which most content creators don't do. But I am also the person who will remove people from the channel if they irritate me enough. So I'm just letting you know that. Now, I do have a few minutes of highlights here, and I figured we would close with this, and I will probably play the majority of this. It's only 3 or 4 minutes long. It is, it's recent, but this stuff never gets old. And I needed something to make me happy after looking at all of these inane comments. And so I have Caitlin Clark's first FIBA game with Team USA, every point and every assist during that game. So that's what I'm going to be showing you some of tonight. As always, the video will be in the description of my video. And I will probably be back tomorrow night. But right now, I'm going to do this, make this video, post it, and I'm going to go sit down and watch Animal Planet because I need a break.
minutes it up over to Plum. Plum hands it right back, and Clark off the Billings screen gets it into Monique Billings, and that's her first bucket as
five players at a time.
Hockey subs.
Hockey subs.
Kelsey Plum with her first. Caitlin Clark on the move over to Billings. Billings on the left-hand side off the glass, and how dangerous is Team USA to 7, just under a minute and a half left to go in the first. Billings up to Clark. Clark takes her first shot, and it's a 3, and it is good. That is Caitlin Clark's first bucket as part of the senior USA national team. We'll take another look at Caitlin Clark's debut shot. In rhythm, comes off the screen, gets the handoff. And you're right, that very much was a rattler. Touched about every single inch of that rim before it went down.
Tournament, high-level basketball.
Ryan Howard, back to Clark. Clark into Irifin, and Irifin off the glass. The ball movement, the 5-in, 5-out substitution pattern. Danilo, what does that say about the depth of this team when you have Caitlin Clark coming off the bench?
That's an easy shot for her, deep three.
The deep three is like a layup for her, though. Here's Clark once again. She's got 8 points. She wanted to pull up for 3, but gonna share it with Ryan Howard, who puts up a 3, and that's her second of the game. Give her. Comes off the screen from Irifin, kicks it over to Clark. Clark behind the back crossover finds Ryan Howard. Howard for 3. And we said it, the connection between Caitlin Clark and Ryan Howard has been beautiful.
Beating the defender and finding the right player.
Clark over to Billings, and Clark, although she's the NCAA all-time leading scorer, she is an assist machine. The offensive rebound gives the USA another chance. Angel Reese makes the most of it, and that's Caitlin Clark's 9th assist. Yeah, let's take another look at this one. Angel Reese, strong to the basket. She was the leading scorer at halftime for this Senegalese team. She's got 5 points right now and 3 fouls, so something to look forward to. Can't be quite as aggressive as Monique Billings.
Being patient, find the right shot.
Caitlin Clark's got the ball over to Beckers. Beckers sets up the 3, and it's nothing but net. Caitlin is looking to share the ball, comes off the screen. A nice pass into Copper. Copper up and under, and what a finish for Copper, and what a setup by point guard Caitlin Clark. Paige finds herself down low, kicks it out to Caitlin Clark. Clark puts it up, and nothing but net. Getting themselves prepared for the World Cup that they've already qualified for, but really not letting their foot off the glass on offense or defense as Caitlin Clark.
Instead of 3. And no replay.
Oh, you really gotta know them. Ooh. Caitlin Clark hits the deck after a 3-point attempt.
Okay, gang. So that's what we got tonight for highlights. Short but sweet, but I need to take a break here. So, you know, I just don't get it. I truly, really don't get it. I'm befuddled. I am certainly confused, and I'm certainly not in the mood, okay? The Indiana Fever is trying to build a championship team here. They are building it around their core, which is Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull. Some of the players they have picked, some of the players they have invited, these are camp invitees. People do this, teams do this all the time. Okay? Now, I want you all to just sit down and relax and stop with this. Everybody hates Caitlin Clark and they're trying to destroy her game mentality. I don't know where you got all of this, but I'm thinking that you have at some time in the past listened to content creators who may have fomented that ridiculous commentary. Okay, I see so much of that on social media, and they are supposedly Caitlin Clark fans. But you know what? For the benefit of everyone who understands this, the fans are the problem, not the players, not the coaches, and not the teams. The fans that spread this junk. Okay? I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great night.